Hi, this is the video for Tuesday, December 8th in 11th grade English. Today we are really inching towards the end of our book. We'll finish it tomorrow if you're on pace with where I am. The topic for today is Maddie is in a pickle. And that's what she calls it. So I borrowed that language because it's an idiom. To be in a pickle means you're in some trouble. And that really does happen to her today. The term for today we'll look at is understatement, and then we'll read to the middle of chapter 7. Right there you can see until 92% or so on your screens. The kernel sentence is Maddie was stuck. The kernel sentence, if you need review, is explained in more detail on yesterday's video, but it's also in the slides that I'm about to go to here. It starts at 132 if you want that explanation. And then Maddie was stuck. You won't really understand what that means until you read through today's reading assignment. So let's take a look here at what we're doing. Maddie is in a pickle. First of all, it is quite a pickle. And I don't want to give anything away, but you're going to kind of get allusions to what will happen when I give you the part you read to about snakes crawling out of the man's ribs. What I can say is we know now Maddie has been captured by Tom Chaney and his men, and really by Ned Pepper and his men. One of his men is Tom Chaney. Ned Pepper is the leader of this bandit outfit, and Maddie realizes at one point after Rooster and Cogburn and LaBeef ran away, oh man, I'm in some trouble. This is going to be a problem for me. When she gets stuck in a hole and seems destined to die, which is where you're headed today, she utters a bunch of understatements. My thought was, this will not do. And I knew if the rattlers got behind me, I would be in a fine pickle. These are understatements. Understatements are saying something in a way that makes it seem smaller and less intense than it really is. It's the opposite of overstatement, exaggeration, or hyperbole. All the same thing. So this is so like Maddie, to be really understated in what it is that she thinks is happening to her. What does understatement do? What does it show us about Maddie? And how does it build characterization? So this is where I left it up to your classmates to think about that and discuss it with me. But with you watching this video, I'll just kind of tell you what I think. Understatement tells us about Maddie Ross. That is the way she sees trouble. She sees it for exactly what it is, without much emotion attached. We do get the most emotion from her in this chapter, as evidenced by exclamation points. But for the most part, throughout the book, Maddie has just told us what is happening. This man killed my father, he took 2 gold pieces, and now I am going to get him and bring him to justice. There are some moments where she feels emotional, when she says, I would like to see him roasting and screaming in hell. But for the most part, things that happen simply happen. She's a relatively objective narrator. So her understatement tells us not just that that's the way she wants to appear, but that's the way she is. It's the way she sees the world. She doesn't really put too much stock in the way that things should feel or the way that she feels, unless it's helping her to clarify her objectives. My next question was just, what do you make of her? At this point in the book, we have seen her do so much. And what do you think? Do you like her? Do you respect her? Does Ned Pepper respect or like her? Do you think she made any mistakes to get herself in this pickle? I have thoughts about all of these questions, or I wouldn't be asking them. But I'm curious what you think. I think she did make some mistakes getting herself into this pickle, and it just drives me crazy when I see her immediately shoot Tom Chaney when he's watering his horses, and he makes to come after her, I guess, eventually. But at first, I think, oh, Maddie, why don't you just immediately shout for Rooster and LaBeef to come down? They would have apprehended Tom, they would have caught him 2 against 1, 3 against 1, really, with everybody well-armed except for Tom Chaney. This was an easy target, but you kind of messed it up by seizing the moment and by trying to manage the whole thing by yourself. You couldn't manage the revolver. Like you said later, you don't really care for guns, or you would have bought one that worked. And this one didn't. And yet you had 2 guys near you who had working guns and could have absolutely done the job. But in the moment, she doesn't think about all of that. She prides herself on being able to manage situations, and in this case, it got the better of her. Tom Chaney is able to apprehend her and bring her back to Ned Pepper, thus introducing this whole now embroiled conflict that everybody is in. So it bothers me, and I judge her for it. I mean, I can judge her. She's not real. Do I respect her, though? I do. I have made mistakes like that, where I thought I could just handle something. And I get it. I think it's really admirable in her. I like her because of it. Does Ned Pepper respect her like her? I think he likes her too. I think he respects that she tells him straight, well, this is how we ended up here. It's because your guy, Tom, shot my father, and here I am to bring him to justice. And Ned Pepper is like, okay, I guess so. That makes sense. He doesn't let her go. He's not exactly going to graciously allow her to have whatever she wants. That's not his way. But he seems to respect her even more than he respects Tom Chaney. And I do think he has the plan to at least abandon her and not kill her the way he says that he will. So this attitude of hers, this gritty attitude, both lands her in this trouble, but also protects her in a way, because she is not helpless and she can own her situation. So that's what I make of Maddie Ross. Nevertheless, she does get herself stuck in quite a pickle at the end of this chapter. So your task, if you're seeing this video, is to read that part. We're going to read it together in class right until she says, Lord, help me. And the sentences around it are, there were snakes crawling out of the man's ribs. I mean, you'll know it when you get to it. The kernel sentence is, Maddie was stuck. I leave you with that.